Shields up, Iron Breakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be talking about World of Warcraft. Yes, I am going to be playing World of Warcraft during Battle for Azeroth, which is something that I wasn't really expecting. Even when I did that video that you guys might have seen a while back where I told you guys that I renewed my subscription because Blizzard did that whole thing where now all of the expansions are included in your subscription with the exception of the very latest one. So I renewed my subscription then because I just kind of I wanted to toy with the idea of playing it a little bit. I was getting that nostalgia vibe because for those of you that don't know, a lot of you guys came into my channel probably during my Monster Hunter World burst or during my Dark Souls burst when I was focusing super hardcore into those two games. So I guess that a lot of you guys actually don't know about the fact that I used to really be hardcore into World of Warcraft. And that's actually where the whole thing of the shields up comes from. It's because my main character in World of Warcraft was a protection warrior. Is right now as well, a protection warrior. And protection warriors, they block stuff with their shields. That's kind of like at least it was one of their main sources of mitigation. It still kind of is, although the meta has changed significantly throughout all of World of Warcraft's expansions. But it's that's kind of where my passion for tanking comes from, because I used to tank a lot back in the days. And one of the signature moves of warriors, protection warriors specifically, is the shield slam ability, which was something that I was super obsessed about. I loved the idea of slamming people with a shield in their face, actually using a defensive weapon like a shield, which technically isn't even a weapon, it's like armor, right? Using that as an offensive thing. It's always been something that I've enjoyed a lot, which is why even in my intro there's the shield slam animation with me being a dwarf and all of that stuff, because I like dwarves and I like shield slamming, and World of Warcraft is the game where a lot of that passion came from, and I just felt like going back to my roots a little bit. And I'm not doing this video to try and convince you guys to come back into World of Warcraft. I think that a lot of people's lives have changed since I last played World of Warcraft, and World of Warcraft is a game that demands quite a bit of time from you, especially if you want to develop any time into alts and, different characters and whatnot, which is not something that I personally want to do this time around. This time around, I'm going to be playing World of Warcraft, but I don't want it to completely consume all of my time like I have done in the past. So I'm going to be focusing my attention in one character only, and that is my main character. One of the only reasons why I wanted to get back into it is that character to begin with. His name is Rurikhan, and he's my dwarven protection warrior. I do want to toy with the idea of doing a dark iron dwarf because I'm just curious about them, but I don't think I'm going to be dedicating a serious amount of time to that. I think I just want to do my protection warrior, do instances, tank dungeons, and do videos about that as well, because it's just something that I miss doing. It's been a long time. It's been 6 years since I last played this character, to give you guys an idea. And it hasn't been 6 years since I last played World of Warcraft, though, because I played World of Warcraft during the Warlords of Draenor expansion when I was working with Broadband TV. And back then I did it for work reasons because we were working with Blizzard, and it just made sense that we should do some World of Warcraft content. And I actually played Horde for kind of the first time that I leveled up a Horde character to a reasonable level. I played this monk. I played a monk because the reason not a monk, sorry, I played a warrior, but he was a panda, is what I'm saying. And the reason I played a panda is because they were the closest thing the Horde has to a dwarf. Because that's just kind of how I was thinking about it. But ultimately, I was never really able to connect with those characters that I did on the Horde side of things because A, they weren't dwarves, and B, it wasn't the character that I had really dedicated all that time into and all that effort into. Because I actually did stuff the challenging stuff on certain instances where you had to do hard modes and raids. I did hard modes in Ulduar. That was the character that I raided Ulduar with for the very first time, which Ulduar is and will always be. I don't think Blizzard is ever going to be able to top Ulduar when it comes to it being the best raid that they've ever made in World of Warcraft. I think it's going to be very hard for them because then they started going through these heroic modes, which I really don't like. Heroic, I don't like mythic. I like the way that it was in Ulduar. The problem is that Blizzard always feels the need to like, oh, people should see the content, people should see the thing. So they have this LFR thing, which I really don't like. Like, I'll probably end up doing a little bit of it at some point, because I don't know if I'll be able to actually be joining like a raiding guild or something like that. I have a couple of old guildies of mine that have actually told me, hey, you should get back together, we should do some raids and do some things, but it's like, I don't know if I'm ready to like put a schedule on it. You know, that's like one of the biggest things, because that was when I really burned out on World of Warcraft. We had like this schedule. We were raiding 3 nights a week, 4 hours, like every 4 hours for 3 nights every week. That's like 12 hours a week, which was crazy. It was too much, and it burned me out. And I understand that even that to some people is not considered super hardcore, but before getting to that point, we were raiding even harder and doing even more hours, which it was just insane, right? And but that's the thing, the way that Blizzard did it, where during what was it called, it was not Ice Crown, it was before Ice Crown, it was the Argent tournament. The Argent tournament was when the Blizzard really did something that I did not like, which was weird. They went from that Ulduar, which was like best thing you've ever done, to Argent tournament, which in my opinion is like the worst thing you've ever done. You go from the best to the worst. It was such a contrast, because like, okay, so now if you really want to do raids, you got to do 10 mans, and then 25 mans, and then 10 man heroic, and then 25 man heroic. And I was like, dude, you're crazy. You're crazy. It's insane. And I know that things have changed and whatnot. It's just, I don't like it when there's like friggin' 6, 7 different difficulties, because I never know which difficulty should I even be playing on. This is crazy, you know? Like, I wish it was just like, no, let's just do it like the old days. There's the one difficulty, and then there's the organic difficulty things that you could do from Ulduar. God, I miss that. And I know some people are going to be like, oh, look at Rurikhan going back in my day. And it is a little bit of that, but I just wanted to talk with you guys a little bit about the World of Warcraft situation. So I am going to be playing. I'm going to be trying to play during the launch, which is happening tomorrow. And the only reason I'm saying I'm going to try to play during launch is because, as you guys probably know, my wife is pregnant, and we're expecting pretty much any day now. And as soon as that happens, it's like, look, I got my priorities set straight, bro. Like, I got to play World of Warcraft. I'm just joking. I got my priorities set straight, obviously, so when my baby girl is born, I'm naturally going to not be focusing as much on content creation, but until that happens, I will naturally be doing that, because, you know, I'm just going back. I'm just almost like reliving my memories. And over the past couple of days that I've been playing, I've been doing it on my live stream. For those of you that have been watching, I've been playing a lot on my live stream, and it's just like the old muscle memory is coming back, and I'm trying to work out different builds and stuff, because I was playing as protection, and I had like a spec which was like a proper just tanking spec, a spec built for tanking. And I was getting involved in some PvP here and there, because that's actually one of the things that I really like that they did, which is they added these special talents that you only get if you turn PvP on. There's no longer any PvE servers, so to speak. They're just servers, and you can turn PvP on or off. But if you turn it on, you get like access to these special talents that you can actually use against monsters as well. So that it actually benefits you in PvE, but you'll be flagged for PvP the whole time. And I like that, you know, because even if you die, so what? It's not the end of the world, and you go back and you try to get revenge. That's the way that I look at it, you know? And I'll cuss at people, and I'll insult them and all of these things, because I'll get salty, you know? But ultimately, that's the way that I want to experience it, you know? I know that some people don't like it and whatnot. But as I was saying, I had this build, right? And I was just like built for tanking, and I got involved in PvP, and I was getting really disillusioned. So I changed everything around. Now my build is not as much for tanking, but it's still protection, right? But I've gone into all of these other alternate talents that give you new abilities and stuff that are not really super useful for tanking, but when it comes to engaging in PvP, I feel like they bring something interesting to the table. I might do a video talking specifically about that build if that is something that you guys are interested in, but it's not like it's anything meta or anything like that, because I've just been away from the game for too long to even be aware of what the meta is. I get my ass kicked left, right, and center right now. but it is still enjoyable at the end of the day. And again, it's that muscle memory. It's like you're getting back together with an old friend. And I know some of you guys are gonna say, "Oh, you're addicted again." And I don't think that's the case, because I still want to play other things. Like, I'm much more interested in, seeing what comes next in Monster Hunter World for sure. Like, like doing stuff like Arch-Tempered Teostra and Behemoth, especially Behemoth. Behemoth was amazing. But at the same time, I do want to keep up a little bit with what's happening in Battle for Azeroth. And one of the other reasons about that is also because you guys know, I mean, some of you guys maybe don't actually know how rich the lore in World of Warcraft is. And I'm not going to say that I'm like some expert on the lore of World of Warcraft or anything like that, but throughout a lot of the expansions, there's always like a theme about stuff, right? So in vanilla, it's vanilla. It's regular World of Warcraft. There's a little bit of lore about the Titans here and there. And then there's, obviously the big thing was Ragnaros and how you would go into the raid, Molten Core, 40-man raid and all this stuff. That was like the big end game thing back in vanilla. But then Burning Crusade came out, and I always felt confused. And I was like, what is all this friggin' going to space and orcs in space, red orcs? Like, what is this? Because I never really got too deep into Warcraft lore. I just kind of liked the game, right? And going through it, there are some expansions that touch on very interesting things. Now, Burning Crusade, from a lore standpoint, was not really something that I was super interested in, but it was a really good expansion in terms of like mechanics and just encounters in general and the way that the game worked. But the one that always, to me, was the best expansion was Wrath of the Lich King, because of the motif. And it just felt like you're in this place, this Norse mythology kind of like getting mixed into World of Warcraft, and I was like, this is cool. And then you had obviously the Lich King himself, Arthas, and all of that stuff. And I don't know, Wrath of the Lich King was always the one expansion that really stuck with me. Cataclysm, I was like, oh, it's all right, it's cool. You get to fly in regular Azeroth now. I guess that's okay. Mists of Pandaria, I never even played it. Like, I played a little bit of it now just to get that character back into Warlords of Draenor. Then Warlords of Draenor, I played it back when I was with Broadband TV, and then I played a little bit of Legion as well. And Legion, I really think that they destroyed Legion by getting rid of artifacts, because like, I remember when I first played Legion, I was playing for the Horde, I was playing on Broadband TV with my friends in Squadron and stuff. And I remember really enjoying like leveling up the artifact and doing that stuff. I thought that was really cool. And the fact that they just got rid of it, it almost feels like Legion became empty in a lot of ways, especially because you're constantly be doing quests that give you trash, right? They just literally trash. I'm talking quests that give you vendor trash. See, the reason why you're doing all those quests, for those of you that are not aware, is because those quests used to give you stuff that would get fueled back into your artifact, whereas now, it's like, it's just vendor trash. That's what you get. It's weird. It's weird the way that stuff ended up turning out. But ultimately, I guess I kind of lost my train of thought there. What I'm saying is that then with Warlords of Draenor was when they really took a hard turn in terms of story that I did not like at all. Because like, oh, let's go back to the past. Now there's an alternate timeline, and there's Draenor, and there's this, and you get this garrison thing. And I loved the garrison. I loved it. And it's like Legion comes along, and yep, your garrison's gone now. We're not going to do anything there. And I'm just like, well, what the hell? Like, we worked on this garrison for so long, and now it's useless. And that was very disappointing. But either way, then Legion came, and we got artifacts. Artifacts was really cool. And then it's like, well, forget about that too. Your artifacts are all trash now. As a matter of fact, there's quests now that give you stuff way better than your artifacts will probably ever be able to be unless you've been raiding throughout Legion, But the story in Legion as well is like, oh, the Burning Legion and Sargeras and all this other stuff, There's all of these things that are kind of like trying to get the Alliance and the Horde to work together. There's always reasons for them to work together. But I really like the start of Legion. Like the way that Varian dies to kind of save his soldiers. I thought that was amazing. And then the way that whole thing plays out, because I think everyone in general felt like Sylvanas failed a little bit by retreating the Horde. Or I could be wrong, I don't know. But, the way that you go into it, and then you start the new expansion by just Sylvanas laying siege to Darnassus, burning the World Tree, and then just like exploding even Undercity, just blows up Undercity. Well, she doesn't really blow it up, she just covers it in her green blight thing, whatever. I thought that was really cool, and I thought that one of the things that is really attracting me towards Battle for Azeroth is that you're getting back to that Horde versus Alliance conflict and the politics behind all of that. That's what I'm interested in. But I do have to say, there is a bit of a flaw. I mean, there's a lot of flaws, and I'm sure that people that have kept up with World of Warcraft will be able to explain to you much better than me. But ultimately, one of the biggest flaws, I think, in regards to the Sylvanas burning of Darnassus is, how are the Horde druids allowing this to happen? Like, what? The druids of the Horde are like, yeah, sure, burn Darnassus to the ground. That's fine. Like, how does that work? Then again, I haven't experienced the story from the Horde side, so I don't really know what happens there. But yeah, I think there are some good times ahead, you guys. I hope you guys will check out my World of Warcraft stuff. I do want to do stuff like builds and hopefully show you some of the instances and stuff. Maybe some of you guys have nostalgia for that as well, and maybe you're not super interested in actually playing it, but you would like to check it out. At least I hope you do. And I would very much appreciate it if you guys would like to join me tomorrow at launch time. I think it's going to be at 11 p.m. British Standard Time or something. I'll probably put up a link to the Blizzard timer that tells you how long it's going to be. I should be live streaming unless, like I said, unless my wife goes into labor, at which point, of course, screw all that. I'm going to take care of my wife and my family. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching this bit of just me talking about World of Warcraft and the old days. If you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to leave me all your feedback and stuff in the comment section below. Hit it up with a like if you enjoyed it. Of course, if you didn't like it, hit it up with a dislike. The important thing is that you do one or the other. You know, if you watch it and you like it, you click the button. If you don't like it, you actually click the dislike button. It's not going to hurt our feelings, you guys, okay? That's not how it works. So anyways, the other thing is, if you guys enjoy my videos, naturally, subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you're actually notified. And yeah, 2 video suggestions that you guys might want to check out on my channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one.